Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you haven't been here before, we've talked about my application process, the timeline. We've talked about my About Me. We've done a roommate tag. We've done the channel trailer. Now it's time for the big one, the phone interview. I'm about to give you the lowdown of what happened with my phone interview and kind of give you a few tips for going forward with yours. I'm wearing the Stars and Stripes today to give me a little help because I'm doing this all on memory. I don't have anything written down, but freedom will get me through. Alright, here we go. First thing that happened, first thing you're supposed to do with the phone interview is you're supposed to write down the interviewer's name. But when I got the call, which was about 10 minutes after my, it was about 8:40, my scheduled time was 8:30, and I was sitting here, basically right here in my room, at about 8 o'clock, ready. I didn't say a word for about 40 minutes. So it was a little stressful. Time went by very slow. But first thing you're supposed to do is write down the interviewer's name. So when she called, I said, "Hey, this is Aaron." She said, "Hi, this is..." I could not understand her. And I missed that like 10-second window where you could ask for her name again. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to say it. So I went the whole interview and I didn't know her name. And I feel really bad about it because I was never able to say her name in the interview. And that's something very important. So if anything went wrong, it was that. Other than that, I thought it went relatively well for not ever taking a phone interview before. And 48 hours or 36 hours before the interview, I had no clue that I was actually going to be in the program, or had a chance to be in the program. So yeah, the first thing she asked was about roommates. After she confirmed that it was me, asked if I'd ever had a roommate before, and then after that she said, "You'll be living with anywhere between 1 and 7 people. How would you resolve a conflict?" Yeah, I think it was something along those lines. And I kind of said something about we all come from different walks of life, different places, and the only way to really hash things out right or correctly is in person, sitting down and figuring it all out before really conflicts occur. I think that was all right. Then she moved on to these aren't going to be in order. These are just off my memory, like I said. I suppose I could look at my notes. Oh yeah. All right. Let's see. Next thing I believe she asked me was we talked a lot about work experience. I'm sure if you're watching my video, you've watched other people's videos. I'm not going to go into detail about how the format has changed from previous years. But I work at a winery. I'm a server down in a winery south of town, and I also work in an after-school program with kids, kindergarten through 3rd grade. And I really use that information to really try to shape my experience into what Disney wants. So I kind of wrote down a few tips of things that I did. Like at 4 Daughters, we stress teamwork, understanding needs, hard work, and learning new things. And I think that's all things that Disney's looking for. And then with Tiger Time, which is what we call it, working with kids, dealing with upset kids, and getting on their level. One of my top 3 roles is character performer, and I've done a little bit of training of in suit before. I'll explain later. But one of the things they stress is getting on the kids' level, and that's something that I've known, or that I've figured out before. So yeah, other things they asked me, how I would benefit from the program. Just simple networking. I talked a lot about it, but basically networking and then the classes were my 2 main points. How I feel about repetitive work, and then fast-paced, slow-paced, stuff like that. Questions that are very similar throughout everyone, videos that I've watched. One of the things that they did ask was, have I ever dealt with an emergency at work, and how did I handle it, and did I stay composed? And I won't get into details, but I told about a story at Tiger Time. There was a kid that was had had a parent who didn't have custody, and we got a tip that they were going to try to come take the child. So during the time that I was supervising, one of the supervisors. So yeah, that was stressful. But I told her what happened and kind of the details, and I think she thought it was a good answer. They did not ask me a time I made a guest happy. I had a whole. That's probably the most I wrote down. I was ready for that question, but she didn't ask. She touched on what I'm most looking forward to, and I kind of shimmied that in, because she briefly said something about it. So then I went in and I put those points in there just because I really want to do this program. So trying to get the interviewer to understand that I really want to do this as best as I can in 23 minutes and 55 seconds. Let's see, what else did she ask? Oh, and then we went into role questions. She asked me about lifeguarding, and that was one of the ones I had interest in. And she asked me the extent of my lifeguard training, or my swimming experience. I said, I've done all my lessons of swimming lessons. I've passed all the levels, and I've been swimming ever since. And I said I don't have any lifeguard experience, but I'm willing to learn. I mean, I think that's really all they're looking for is people who are qualified, but are willing to step into a new role and do what Disney needs them to do. You can't really choose what you're going to be doing down there. You really have no control. So I think one of the things they're looking for is people who are a little amphibious. I think that's a good word. I don't know. People who are it's a word I'm looking for. We'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. And then we went into Photo Pass and then Character Performer. She asked me a couple questions about those, and those are actually two of my top three. It's Character Performer, Photo Pass, and then Custodial. Those are my top three, and we talked about all of them in the most qualified section. Because I do feel, even though they are my top three, I feel like I am the most qualified for those three jobs. Let's see. There was one other thing I don't remember. Yeah, but she said at the end of the interview, there's going to be a wave of things, acceptances and NLICs in late October. She said check your dashboard periodically. I mean, basically that's it. It was a lot similar to a lot of the interviews that or the questions that I've saw on YouTube. So that's basically it. That's all I got. It wasn't too bad. It was stressful, but it's manageable. By far, extremely manageable. So if you have any questions, comment them below. Add me on Facebook. Send me a message on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. My other YouTube channel. My previous video is right here. Boom. And my other YouTube channel is right here. Boom. Go ahead and check those out. That's all I got for you today. Good luck and go Disney.